I know you're a great Henderson fan. Aiglador is the 5-1 favourite. Were you impressed with his last win at Cheltenham?
No, I wasn't, to be honest with you, but then he had Marcus Foley on his back, which is a £10 penalty. Alright, then a £12 penalty. So he's not on this time. He's fucking desperate, he is, Marcus Foley. Even Joe Tizard in the fucking each way double. We're always slightly wrong. It's a game, you've got to come in and like tip winners up. They can't all be great, they might be great blokes, but you know, when they come to jockeys, who do you want to be? Ruby Walsh or Joe Tizard?
Well, he's not going to be riding it anyway, so...
Who?
Well, Fitzgerald's going to be riding it.
Who do you want, Fitzgerald or Foley?
Well, Fitzgerald.
Well, thank you then, it's a story. Stop arguing. Aiglador, I thought, was a bit green when it ran at Cheltenham last time. It hit the front up the hill, and that's the worry from the Henderson yard, that it just might be a bit green for a race of this nature. And also I like his group captain. I think he's bomb-proof. On the flat, he was as tough as old boots. He won competitive handicaps. Alan King, I know, has mapped him out all year. Matt thinks he's in the 2-miler, which I'm going to double my bet now. Matt thinks he shouldn't run.
You won't, you'll definitely running this. He's getting better all the time.
Exactly what Alan said, yeah, and he's a street fighter. You look at his flat form. Also like back in flat horses in this race, Isti Bracken, the likes of that. I just think he's a real battle-hardened character, maybe Aiglador isn't. I think you need a bit of flat speed to win this race when they quicken down the hill and get a position. I mean, group captain really is a tough animal. He's 102 flat horse. As Robert said, he's getting better with every race. Alan King gets these horses spot on for the festival. I think around the 7-1 marker, he's a fair bet.
Breeze won the Tolworth hurdle. The ground was quite soft. If it did rain a bit, would he be on your shortlist?
No, not at all. I'm going to stick with group captain. I'm quite keen with him. I think, again, the flat speed will help out in this race. And pretty sweet one of the bets of the meeting for me, group captain at the price.
Okay, group captain, one of your bets of the meeting. Kieran?
Yeah, one of the interesting races for me. I don't think the market's quite got this right yet, because you've got the horses that might not run. I think for Paddy the Plasterer, I was against him because of the soft ground. If there's a lot of rain, I think he's got a proper sort of Irish winter ground action. I'd be against him. Of the ones at the top of the market, I agree with Couch about group captain. Obviously, he's got any amount of flat experience in big fields, so I don't worry about his lack of hurdling experience. The one at a price, I think he's one of the biggest prices at a meeting, and I think Couch might have burgled the last of the 25s earlier on, but County's End from the Philip Hobbs stable. He's a horse who's been completely ignored because his form's come in handicaps. He was third in the Tote Gold Trophy, which is about as solid a handicap run as there's been all year. Before that, he won at Sandown. He was staying on all the while. In all his runs this year, he's shaped as though the step up in triple suit him. He's about £4 behind on figures. If he could easily find £5 or £6 for the step up in trip, if he does, he's bang there. The owner apparently wants to come for this race. Well, the owner's clearly a very shrewd man. He was 33s earlier in the week. There's a bit of 25s less. That is absolutely huge. And I think it's the Rick of the festival at the moment.
No stable in better form at the moment.
The race is absolutely perfect for him. And it's there's a couple of examples as we go through the week. But often you get these horses, their form's in handicaps. They go back into open graded company, it just gets ignored. But third in the Tote Gold Trophy is as good a piece of form as any of these novice hurdlers have run.
Right.
Group captain's a horse I know really well, because Dazzler was retained by Peter Webb for about as long as I worked at the Tote. It was about a week. We booked him for a few times for group captain. Yeah, and he couldn't win on it, and then he lost the retainer. I'm just not sure it will stay 2 mile 5. It's a horse who's got a lot more speed than a lot of people think. I know it won a November handicap. He's got a real turn of foot, and if the ground was testing, I'm not sure you get the trip 2 mile 5. For Paddy the Plasterer, if the ground was soft, I think would have a good chance. I think Breeze is a solid horse. At the end of the day, he is a Grade 1 winner, Tolworth hurdle winner. It might not have been the greatest Tolworth of all time. 10-1 standout like price with Paddy Power. Only 8-1 with Toastful. No value there, but they have got a good odds compiler in Craig Reed, the best odds compiler in the country, so he clearly fancied it too. But I think it's Grade 1 form. As I say, I'm just not sure group captain will stay. If I was confident it would stay 2 mile 5, it would definitely be the selection. But if the ground's testing, group captain love testing ground on the flat, but soft ground on the flat's very different to soft ground, jumps ground. I don't think it will get the trip. I think Alan King has made an absolute cock up once again. Last year, My Way to Souls and ran it in the wrong race. He got lucky because Swiss Magic fell. This year he's done it again with this one. Alan's got to get serious, otherwise he's going to keep having these arguments with Paul Nicholls at Newbury.
Okay, Andrew.
Just one point about the ground. I remember sitting here last year when Worcester had been abandoned on Friday, Noah had been spotted at Stratford, and then England on Monday had been abandoned. We were talking about heavy or soft.
Well, we hear that this close to
Cheltenham, was it? The week before.
It was actually roughly now.
It was officially soft ground on day 1. The time suggested the going was good. So don't get carried away by backing soft ground horses, because I think come Tuesday you'll see them sort of 2 or 3 seconds below standard at worst.
The other thing, that was up, so Bob, the weather forecast in today's Racing Pace, where they put the little clouds and the rain for 5 days, were completely different to the clouds and rain on MetCheck that I checked this morning. There was lots of sunshine around. I don't know, Ashley, where you're taking it from the Met Office. Well, you know, when I worked at the Post, I've made those phone calls. You can ring one Met Office guy and he'll say one thing. You ring the next guy in half an hour and say something completely different. Those forecasts are unreliable, and as I say...
John Ketlin, he's hopeless.
Well, they're all hopeless. When do we ever rely on a weather forecast? And here we are relying on a weather forecast to put our cash down. It's ridiculous.
Who's the guy who got those gales wrong?
Michael Fish.
Michael Fish. Yeah.
There's every chance it's going to be Bayesian weather.
Every roof blew off the house.
You've got to ring someone up in Cheltenham, haven't you, to ask about the Cheltenham. Whenever you ring up a bloke, old gardener down in Fred West, he said this year they're going in 16.
On that note, can I just get back to my selections for the first race?
Thank you, Andy, for bringing it back.
I wasn't keen on Breeds and Group Captain. Group Captain's not taken in a grade 1 or 2 race, which is unusual for recent winners of this. Holden was quite interesting, 5 wins in a couple of seconds from 7 starts, and he's a keen sword. He'll appreciate the big field and strong pace. But the one for me was for Paddy the Plasterer. He has always shaped as though 2-5 will suit. And he'll go on the ground whether it's good or whether it's soft. So for Paddy the Plasterer.